Hello and welcome back to the Into the Mines podcast. We're on our second episode here today and we're joined by myself here, Eddie Oliver, and our co-host, Riley Murray, and bringing them back on the show, the SRL Mines Commissioner, Will Kaye. How we going, boys?
How's it going, Eddie? Happy Blue
Yeah.
Tongue Thursday.
Oh yeah, thanks, mate. How you going, Will?
Going well, thanks. Happy Seagulls Thursday.
Here we are here, boys. And starting off this week here, guys, on the Into the Mines podcast, we're going to be touching on both of the games that actually happened last week. And we've got the Swarm captain here, Reika Manu, who's going to be with us talking about his experience of the game that week, and also just giving an insight of how the game went against the Bathurst Blue Tongues. Welcome here, Reika.
Hey boys, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you on for the first time here into the Minds podcast. And we're going to pull up the stats here of the game, the general stats. Yourself there, Reika Manu, with the first try of the game. You want to go through that for us?
So yeah, credit to the boys. Actually, I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. They put it up, I'm not too sure who put that kick up, but someone tapped it back. I think it might have been Home King or our centre. I ended up grabbing it from the behind and just little 1-2 shimmy and over the line.
Yeah, definitely good stuff there from your team. It was a very solid team effort, that try work there from the Hamilton Swarm. And just talking about how the game went over in general, Riley, 50 possession being even, but in the Swarm's favour. And, coming off a bye, I believe, the Swarm, and they've come in and they didn't do they gave the Blue Tongues a hot crack, 143 tackles, 5 errors, 0 penalties conceded from the Swarm. They had a really solid game, Riley.
Yeah, it was a rough one. I've always said that the Blue Tongues and Swarm are the most similar teams when it comes to the mines. As you can see, it was a very close game. So I'm just happy that Blue Tongues came out with the win. But either way, Swarms are definitely one of my favorite other teams in the mines. So they're one that I wouldn't have minded losing to if we had to lose to anyone.
Yeah, no, definitely there. And their opponents, the Bathurst Blue Tongues, who did come away with the victory, and also with some beautiful tries from their team. And looking at some more of the stats here, 3 tries from them, the 43% possession. They didn't have everything going their way, but completions were even 17 out of 21 and 17 out of 22 from both teams. Errors, an extra error there for the Blue Tongues, but talking about Lachlan Holmes again, what a stellar performance he did put in, and talking to the captain here in Riley. How's he feeling after that one, mate?
Oh, I think he's always feeling good. He's great player. I don't think you've seen many wingers that can do what he does, just coming on his third game actually, and just tearing up second week in a row. So really good stuff from him, really.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
man.
Yeah, definitely was.
He turned me inside out. That I think that try, mate, got me good, that one.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about it.
We're loving that there. And with you talking about that, Reika, what was it sort of like defending, the Blue Tongues attack? Because it was vital. It was, I should say, dangerous at points during that game. And I'm talking about Domstrom and Anoli. How was he sort of getting the team around the park there?
So yeah, from what I could see, man, we got a bit of holes in the defense, and they were just really attacking us through the middle, and they controlled the park well, and I think that's one thing we need to work on as the Swarm brothers, as our D through the middle. Our attack is getting us. I reckon our attack is doing, it's been getting better and better, but the one thing that's letting us down is the breaks through the middle, So if we can get on top of that, I think we'll be sweet.
Yeah, definitely there. And both teams are just putting in well-rounded performances and just giving, everything a hot crack. And talking about those holes in the lines, the big forward, Ryan Wilmot for the Blue Tongues, he just went straight through one of them and got himself a meat pie. What a forward he is coming out to be in his first season here in the SRL Mines. Beautiful stuff from him. And going back to the Swarm here, we'll end on is, I think it's Lockie Cashwell. Is that right, Riley?
Cashel, I think.
Our little hooker,
Cashel?
Yeah, sorry on the pronunciations there, mate. We're still working on it. But the little hooker there coming in to replace me for the Swarm. Well, Reika, I think you've had a bit to do with him and talking to him, just making sure he knows where to be. But well, he started his SRL Mines career here on fire.
Yeah, bro. No, he's been firing for us ever since he left us, and he's been actually he's been taking the ball up nice, doing some nice carries. He's got pinpoint passing, So yeah, it's actually good running off the back of that, So we'll see how we go for the rest of the season, huh? But excited to have him on, excited and keen to see how he's gonna progress for the rest of the season.
Definitely.
Yeah, Reika, be honest, mate. Who do you prefer, Eddie or Cashel?
We can't. Hey man, nah, Eddie's gone now, so
Me personally, I'd take Cashel any day of the week, but that's just me speaking.
Well, that was a really good game there from both those teams. But moving on to the second team of the round, we're going to be talking about the Firehawks and the Hogs here and their performance on Monday afternoon. The Firehawks coming away with 2 points clear of the Perth Hogs, a 14-12 victory, and both teams having very solid performances. And joining us about this stats discussion, we're going to have the fullback of the Firehawks, Cyrus Marks. How you going, man?
Too bad yourself.
Yeah, good to have you on here, man. Thanks for being here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Thank you. And talking about having you here, how did your performance go at fullback? How would you rate yourself, out of 10, and how did your team go coming away with that win on Monday?
Well, firstly, how I would rate myself out of 10. I feel like I've just got to have a bit more time to gel at the fullback position because, primarily a centre and I debuted on the left wing. But my first performance at fullback, I was a little bit disappointed. I conceded a try and I conceded a try in the fullback position. I was lacking in defence, but I feel like I turned up a little bit more this week. Had some better carries, more line breaks. And I feel like I defended a lot better in the fullback position. I saved.
Yeah, no, definitely there, man. Well done. And talking about your team, you guys did have 54% of the possession and also 17 completions. 2 extra completed sets there to your team really did give you, the upper hand in getting that win. And Riley, do you sort of want to go through some of the overall stats here of the Hogs?
Yeah, well, the Hogs, they made 7 errors, so you could maybe see why they didn't come away with the win in the end there. They also had a bit less possession with only 46%, only completing 15 out of 20 sets. So that's 5 uncompleted sets just gone to waste there. And they had to do a lot more defending than the Firehawks as well. As well as having less missed tackles though, oddly enough. And more line breaks.
Yeah, no, definitely there. And also, the line breaks 23-21 in the Hogs' favour. It'd probably show you that the Firehawks did get those line breaks in more convenient positions, and getting those tries is, that grubber kick there for Anderson there for the Firehawks. What a try that was. It was beautiful stuff, and the big forward, he's just running onto it at full pelt and got there. Cyrus, I sort of want you to just give us an insight on, what the team's looking like in the sheds and how they're going and what their thoughts are after that win.
Yeah, the boys seem really happy. The 5'8", he's always pumping up the squad in the sheds. He's always, sending a message before and after the games, getting everyone keen, getting everyone ready for their upgrades. Yeah, everyone was really happy. Alan Berkeley, he's always, putting in some good words before and after the games, playing a dummy half. And the forwards all seemed keen. Filippo Gould, he didn't debut for us, I believe, or he was playing off the bench, but he's slotted really well into that 13 position, replacing Pete Vretto. I feel like he did a really good job on the game night as well.
Yeah, definitely he did. And later in the podcast here tonight, you're going to find out just how well Filippo Gould did go, slotting into that 13 position, and first time in the starting role. Well, that's pretty much it. We're going to be moving on here and talking about the Into the Mines podcast starting 13 of the week here. And we're going to be, I'm going to get you here, Cyrus, to just sort of talk about some of the players that we've chosen and maybe just talk about Davo Nofalingawi there at the back.
Yeah, I feel like he's very deserving of that spot. I'm pretty sure he has been playing fullback for the Hogs since round 1, if I'm correct. He's done
Yeah.
really well, controlling the ruck at fullback. Great defender. He's definitely deserving of that fullback, the fullback of the Mines at the moment.
Definitely there.
He performs well, week in, week out. They've, the Hogs, what I believe they do best at is their forwards are big hitters, they're great defenders. They just fall under pressure, I believe, close to the line, although they are very good at turning over the ball, defending a good set. And Dave O'Noffalingawi, he's definitely deserving of that fullback position for the Mines team.
Definitely there. He does get his team around the park and just gets them in the right spot at the right time. Moving on here, we're going to talk about the rest of the back line. Here in Lachlan Holmes, Corey Bell, Josh Pratt, and Hone King, who are all in their own right excellent players here. And we have Corey Bell, who, has come back into the SRL Mines here and playing in the centres. He did have some good moments there, didn't he, Riley?
Yeah, I think that he mostly shined in defense. On offense, he didn't really get the ball too much, but defensively, he was a bit of a powerhouse on I think it was the left edge there.
Yeah, no, definitely
needed for the Firehawks.
Well, Lachlan Holmes, this won't be the first time in the podcast that we've seen him, but he's just electric as usual, and he's back in there again for the second time of the Into the Mines podcast, best starting team of the week. We're going to move on to the halves here. Stramandinoli back in there again. And Jason Powders, who last week for the Swarm didn't perform as due to a bye, and, back here this week in the second episode, and he's straight in. And he's very good kicking game and a well-rounded bloke himself here. And Dom Stramandinoli, he speaks for himself just as we did talk about him last week. A very well-rounded performance, kicking. And he's just further making a mark on his career here in the SRL Mines. Moving on to the forwards, Justice Daly, Lockie Cashel, and also Ryan Wilmot. We're going to talk about it. I'll just quickly touch on here, Lockie Cashel. Sorry for the pronunciations here, but his mind games, Kaye was talking about them in the commentary box and just how he uses his runs and also how he times them out of dummy half. Just really puts the defense off and constantly puts them in two minds. Cyrus, I just want you to touch on the two forwards as you did verse one of them. No, you didn't, sorry. But I just want you to touch on, both the forwards and just how they are overall in general.
Yeah, the forwards, they're strong. They have great carries, not afraid to run into the defense. Great defenders as well, putting in big hits. And as you were saying about Lockie Cashel, he's great from dummy half, his pass selection, and he just goes in there full pelt, doesn't give up. Pretty sure, I believe he does play 80 minutes each week.
Yeah,
it's very impressive.
Definitely. Very good stuff from him.
Very impressive. Yeah,
Moving on, we're going to be talking about second rowers, Ugor Makazi, who is just that player. His work ethic is perfect, beautiful. And he always knows how to get the team over the line and also his own game. No matter how his team is going, he's always averaging those 100 meters. And Sonny Sharp, well, he's not that much far away from his brother and his brother, who's now in the SRL Premiership. And he always does the beautiful stuff here. Sonny Sharp just plays well from his team. And again, that man here, who we spoke about earlier, Cyrus Marks did. Filippo Gould, your teammate up in there in the front row, doing the hard yards and just getting your team over the line. I'll let you finish off here, Cyrus, by talking about Filippo.
Filippo Gould, he's a very impressive player. He's active in the sheds, He's great with getting his upgrades in. Yeah, he's a powerhouse. When I first saw him come off the bench for us, I was very impressed. I believe he picked up 2 intercepts and he scored a try, I'm pretty sure, in his debut. He's just a powerhouse, as you were saying. He's tough. He puts in massive carries. Pete Vretto is a big loss for the Firehawks, but I believe Filippo Gould is a perfect player to slot into that 13 position for him. He had a great performance, takes a lot of strong carries, doesn't give up, as I said. Very, good work ethic, just as well as Ugor Makazi, as you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, very good stuff there. Thank you, Cyrus. And that is going to conclude Cyrus's time here on to in the second episode of the Into the Mines podcast. Me and Riley want to just thank you for being here, Cyrus, and also for being the very first guest speaker of this podcast. And, going through the interview process and all of that stuff. If you guys do want to become a guest speaker, go down into the description of this video, and there is a link to the Discord into the Mines server. And there's a page there to request to be a guest speaker, and me or Riley will get back to you about interview times, and everybody who applies in there is going to have a shot and have a chance. Doesn't mean you automatically get it, but we want to give everybody a fair chance. So I thank you for being on the show here, Cyrus Marks, and we look forward to seeing you in later episodes.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Start us off here this week. We're going to be talking about the Into the Mines podcast team of the week, and that's going to be the Firehawks from their amazing game that they did have. It was a beautiful game on the weekend there, and some players having some beautiful standouts. Riley, do you want to have a little talk about how the Firehawks went this week?
Yeah, it was a bit of a close game. It was actually a really good one. The Firehawks had a very good comeback just very late into the end there. It was nice hearing Caleb Jeff commentating on that as well. Very much like the holy guacamole part. But getting back to the game itself, I think that Filippo Gould was a big impact into how they performed that night.
Yes, definitely there. And also showing why they are the team of the week. Later in the show, you'll see a good quarter of the team of the week is, I should say, the best Into the Mines best starting team of the week is going to have quite a few of their players in it. Names of Corey Bell and so on. But moving on here, we're going to be talking about where are the players who have, moved up from the SRL Mines competition into the SRL Premiership. And Kaye, I'm going to talk to you about it. Where are some certain players now who have, moved up from the Mines this season, as Alex Christie and so on, and just talking about how they're doing now in the SRL Premiership.
Yeah, well, Alex Christie, it's an interesting one. If anyone watched that Knights game on last night, you'll see that Alex Christie actually scored a double, so good on him coming off the bench. Fantastic stuff to see for him. As for Dylan Sharp, he's been playing well as well at the Sea Eagles. And yeah, it's just been, both had really good seasons so far. There hasn't been too many other really signings apart from Pete Veretto going to the Knights as well, who's been a consistent player in that second row. But obviously he's not a rookie, just a player that was in the Mines rather. But yeah, so a lot of them are going all pretty well already, and we're all looking forward to seeing what they can do with their careers.
Definitely there. And also, none of those players who sort of had a bit of a falling out in their career, Pete Veretto, and he sort of started off the Mines competition really strong and just playing in that lock position, I believe. And now I believe he's with the Knights as well here, Kaye. And just playing solidly and just doing his team a job. He came back well, and we're not going to talk about why he got dropped out of the league, but he came back well and he's rebuilt himself. And Corey Bell is sort of wanting to, follow those lines and all of that stuff as well. Before we move on here today, Kaye, I just want to give you a congratulations being announced as the new Melbourne Storm captain. We did talk about it last week, and it was very good to see the SRL Mines commissioner in full flight, and we're going to be very interested to see how your team goes next season.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited to get some players, and I've had to talk to some talent already, so looking forward to next season.
Moving on here, there was a bit of talk in the media this week between some of the players, Phoenix Murphy and Marcus Square from the Blue Tongues, about sort of a little bet that was going on there a couple of days before the game. And Marcus Square was going on about it's Blue Tongues Sunday tomorrow and Waha's Monday as well as the Blue Tongues. And then Phoenix Murphy.
Monday always.
Yeah, and Phoenix Murphy replies, wanting to make a formal agreement that if the Swarm beat the Blue Tongues, there is no more Blue Tongues Day for the rest of the season. And, well, Marcus Square came back with that, if the Swarm lose, you need to get a shit haircut, mate, with blue dye. And, Reika, I've heard that you were, sort of in and out of that conversation. Do you want to talk about how Phoenix was feeling sort of after that and a bit before the game?
Oh, mate. Well, when I heard about this, when I heard about the bet, all I was thinking was, man, we need to win this game, not only for our team, but for Phoenix as well now, so... But, yeah, I've been seeing a couple of their boys posting, Blue Tongue, every day. Blue Tongue Monday, Blue Tongue Tuesday, so on. It's quite funny, actually, but I think it'll be funnier seeing our man Phoenix run out with blue hair next weekend, whatever hairstyle he chooses.
It definitely will do. And also on here on the Into the Mines podcast, we do have a sneak couple of angles of Phoenix's new haircut with blue dye. It's,
no.
It's pretty schmick, isn't it there, Riley? You want to talk about on the design and sort of... How Marcus Square is feeling about this?
Yeah, well, look, if I want to talk about the hair first, I had a little bit of input on it myself. I think there's a reason why he's gone bald before this. His hair's a bit thinning. You know, he's got a bit of a pushed back hairline, I guess you could call it.
Oh,
But
mate.
yeah,
I might get him running the waters out next week, actually.
yeah, you might have to. I think that Square's a bit happy about this one. If I'm being honest, I
Yep.
think that he could be the happiest I've ever seen him at this point in time.
We just want to thank you, Reika, for being on this podcast and just having you on this week and giving us your insight and all of your wealth of knowledge of already having a mine season under your belt. This is the Reika Manu, the captain of the Swarm, and me and Riley would love to thank you for being on. And we're looking forward to extra. We're looking forward to having you on more podcasts, Reika.
Yeah, 100%, boys. Thanks for having me, eh? Like, I'm glad to be a part of it.
Definitely there. And as we're coming towards this, halfway point of the show, we're gonna start off with a new segment, Into the Mines Try of the Week. And during this quick break, if you feel like it, go down, chuck a comment down below of what you guys want to see in future episodes and some general feedback of how it's going. But enjoy this clip now.
Float there, the captain. I wouldn't be
Great
surprised.
combination play. Need to get more of it for halves.
Wouldn't be surprised if there's an early kick. No, there's not going to be. It's Holmes. Holmes away. He turns Manu inside out and under the post. What a try.
Well, you saw it previously in the first half. A play where Holmes did a run infield and...
What a try that was there from Lachlan Holmes and just getting through the line there and just swerving around the fullback. What a player. He's coming into his third game and he's already showing just how dangerous his speed is against opposition and defenders. And Riley, do you want to talk about how Lachlan Holmes handles himself at training? And I'll move to you on after this, Kaye. But just how Lachlan handles himself in training and just how he looks after himself and how he, presents himself to the training group.
Yeah, look, in training, he's a bit the quiet one. You don't hear him talking too much. He'll just go off, do his own thing. You'll see him sprinting back and forth on the field, just running back and forth for about an hour. He's the quickest man alive, so you'd expect it from him. He's just getting used to weaving. He put some work on Reika Manu this week as well. I think he's been practicing that one for a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, definitely. That good stuff from him. And Kaye, going to you, talking about the reasonings of, putting Lachlan Holmes in. I know it's due to inactivity, but as we all know, there are heaps of players in the reserves at the moment wanting to get a chance in the SRL Mines. And just what about Lachlan Holmes caught your eye?
Oh, it's really just that speed. He's been working a lot with the Bathurst, not Bathurst local, but Penrith local, Brodie Kennedy, who's moved to the Eels now, and he's been working on his speed a lot with him, as well as his just general abilities as a back. Obviously, Kennedy's a fullback, but he's been using a lot of those skills that he's learnt from Kennedy to really play accelerating really well on the wing there.
Yeah, no, definitely there. That was beautiful stuff from him, and congratulations to Lachlan Holmes for being chosen as being the Into the Mines. I should be saying congratulations to Lachlan Holmes for being chosen as the player who's been chosen for the Into the Mines podcast Try of the Week. Beautiful stuff from you there. Moving on here, we're going to be talking about the shit haircut of the week, and this is going to that player there in that lock position, Filippo Gould, who got himself a meat pie this weekend, and he just had a beautiful, well-rounded performance. His stats were very solid for a lock himself. And Riley, do you want to just talk to us a bit about his game and just even mention the haircut as well?
Yeah, look, an absolutely stellar performance. Definitely the best man on the field in that game. Yeah, nice one, Eddie. And unfortunately, just an absolutely shit haircut to go with it. Yeah, he was definitely an impactful player. I just wish that I could see him on the field without such a horrendous haircut.
Definitely there. And beautiful congratulations there to you, Filippo Gould, for, the shit haircut of the week. As again, to get to be on this list, you also need to have a very good game yourself, as he did, the big forward. Beautiful stuff from him. Now, moving on, we're going to be talking about, players next week we should, maybe have a look out for, and just from one of you, just, select a player and just what you recommend our viewers here to, keep an eye out for next week.
Next week, I'll be looking out for the one and only Reika Manu. He's been scoring like they're hotcakes in the last couple of weeks. And he's playing against the Firehawks, which is a grudge match. It's been organised that both teams will be running out in their heritage kits from last season, the last couple of seasons. And I think that Manu will really do a great job against the Firehawks. Another one for that game again, actually, and I just want to mention it real quick, is Corey Bell. He's shifting to that right centre, and I think that may be a massive change for him there.
Yeah, no, definitely there from him. He's been, these past 2 weeks, Reika Manu's just been putting the team on his back and just getting those tries that, the whole team can't get on their own without him. He's such a strike weapon, and as you guys have already heard previously on the podcast, he's an amazing player to talk to, and he's always humble about whoever he talks about, and he spoke about his experience, playing against his opposition fullback there. Absolutely amazing player there. Moving on into the next segment, we're going to be talking about the fan-voted player of the week into the Interminds podcast, and it's been selected from 6 players who are given Mines MVP points in the week, and a poll was put out a couple of days ago to the community and asking you guys to vote on, the player that you thought that really deserved it. And coming away from that voting process, we have Ryan Wilmot, the forward for the Blue Tongues, who I believe, again, got himself a try this week. Again, one of those forwards who are just performing week in, week out for his team. Those 1%ers that got the team got their teams the win, and Ryan Wilmot very well deserved here, guys.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best players on the field there. He definitely deserves the fan voted player of the week. Very happy about that outcome.
Congratulations there to him, and I know I've been Kaye, what's your thoughts on Ryan Wilmot and just how he's been handling himself these past couple of weeks and what you can see from the commentary box?
Oh yeah, Wilmot, he's just been fanatical the way he's been playing. It's been fantastic to watch. He's obviously a lock by trade, but he's been playing in that prop jersey, the number 10 on that right side, and he's been absolutely destroying balling players over left, right, and centre, and just making all the important tackles that he needs to. He's putting in 100% of his effort, 110% even, every week. And that's why he's come off so well and been such a great player to watch over the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. Congratulations there to Ryan Wilmot for being the fan-voted player of the week here on the Into the Mines podcast. And moving on here, we're going to be moving on to the Into the Mines pyramid ranking. And as again was said last week, it's been ranking from the best players all the way at the top and then all the way down to the bottom here. And Riley here, would you like to get us started here by talking about, the bottom row here and just talking about some of the players here?
All right, bottom row, we've got all these people on the pyramid are high tier players, but on the lowest tier, we've got Powders, Galaxy, Square, Dominic Strong out, Cheesy Ball. He definitely releases into Cosby this week, in my opinion. And Lachlan Holmes, your try of the week winner. And I think that everyone here had a very big impact on the games. I think that Powders also got a try assist with Reika Manu.
Yeah, beautiful.
Big plays from these guys.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there from all of these players. They all contributed to their teams, even though if they didn't get the win, they always did put in a very, strong part for their team and just making sure that, they didn't fall off. And moving up here to the next row, we've got Davo Nofalingawi, Sonny Sharp, Reika Manu, and Yugor Makazi again. Yugor Makazi being in there, being voted the shit haircut of the week last week. He's still putting in a stellar performance and all of that stuff. Davo Nofalingawi and Reika Manu, both fullbacks who doing their team solids and just putting in those 1%ers. The aerial weapon there of Davo Nofalingawi and Reika Manu, just the try-scoring machine he is for the Hamilton Swarm. And Sonny Sharp just putting in those runs and just doing the dirty work for his team here. Kaye, do you want to talk about the row above here with Lockie Cashel and also Ryan Wilmot?
Yeah, well, Lockie Cashel is playing his mind out, especially out of just those runs from dummy half. He kept on going, fending off players and finding the gaps, getting the offside players caught out. And he obviously set up that brilliant try. And I can't remember who he actually set up, but it was an over-the-head pass, a big loopy one, and he got it away, and the try was scored because of it. Likewise, Ryan Wilmot had an incredible performance this week. He scored a try for himself. Like I said before, balling over players left, right, and centre, and just making those meters and those tackles where his team really needed him.
Definitely beautiful stuff there from Ryan Wilmot and Lockie Cashel. And at the top of the Into the Mines pyramid, this week is that man again, Filippo Gould, who has just had an amazing performance this round. And one of the reasons why he is up there is because looking at stats and just rewatching gameplay, some people do well in other areas and some people lack in others. And in our opinion here, between Riley and myself, Filippo Gould just had a well-rounded performance in all areas. He really just did prove to the audience and us and the commentators here on Into the Mines that's just why he did deserve to be at the top of the Into the Mines pyramid of the week here. Beautiful stuff there from him. Moving on here, we're going to be talking about the Into the Mines Go to the Week, and it is that man again, the lock here, Filippo Gould. Beautiful stuff here from him. He's just coming out and he's everywhere in this podcast this week, and so he does deserve it. And Riley, do you want to talk a bit about him here?
Yeah, well, I think you've mostly touched on everything that he's done, but overall, he's just had a great performance on Monday and definitely the GOAT in our opinion, at least.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. Again, major congratulations here to you, Filippo Gould. You're just a very well-rounded player and bloke, and hopefully your teammates are going to be thrilled to see you on here in the podcast. You've been all over it this week, mate, and congratulations to you. And moving on towards the end of the podcast here, I want to talk about the next week's games and also some tips that you guys have, Will here and Riley, just on who you think's going to win next week and just who you think's going to perform. And we'll start off with you here, Kaye, just talking about who you think's going to perform next week in the clashes.
Yeah, well, I think especially for the Hamilton Swarm Cairns Firehawks game, I think it's going to be a big one. It's the grand final rematch. They played in the first round. The Firehawks got up 30-16. I think it's going to be a bit of an upset this time. The Firehawks in red hot form at the moment, but they've lost a couple of key players. They've lost Pete Veredo, which is probably the biggest one. Dylan Sharp, another one, and Alex Christie. They're a little bit weakened at the moment, and the Swarm with Reika Manu in the form that he is, and maybe Caleb Jeff, if you can pull up a big performance like he did those first couple of weeks, I think the Swarm can take this 4-8.
Yeah, no, definitely. Then Caleb Jeff has been a bit on and off, and he's had moments in games talking about him. And again, congratulations to him for making his debut in the commentary box with yourself there, Will. And he did a tremendous job. He was under the pump there, and he got pulled in last minute due to unforeseen circumstances. But he did a very solid job, and it's amazing to see the comments in the SRL chat about him. Moving on here to Riley, your thoughts on the other clash of the round next week?
Yeah, well, we've got the Hogs and the Ravens. It's a bit of a David and Goliath battle, just like Hogs had this week as well. But I'm going to tip the Hogs this week. I think it's about time they get a win, and there's been a lot of uncertainty in the Ravens camp. There's a few people have missed their upgrades. They're just off a bye, so they're going to be a little bit inexperienced here, and I reckon Hogs might be able to get it done.
Yeah, definitely there. Well, that is it for this week of the second episode of the Into the Mines podcast. Want to thank you for coming along, and again, don't forget, after this video or just before this podcast finishes, go down to the comments and just leave a comment down below of what you guys do think, what we should do, or any ideas that you want to see in the next future episodes. And again, I want to thank my co-commentators here, Riley, Murray. Thanks, mate, for coming along.
Thank you.
And again, to the SRL Mines Commissioner for being on here this week, Will Kaye, thank you, mate. And also, again, congratulations to being appointed the Melbourne Storm captain for Season 6 of the SRL Premiership. All the best for you, and we'll probably have a segment next week about what Mines players you're looking out for, and you guys can be aware of who you are and just what a captain is looking for when they're wanting to start a new club. So thank you, Will.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Keep an eye out for the talk in the Into the Mines Discord, and also, again, there will be a link for it down in the description of this video. If you guys want to apply, to be a guest speaker and or to be in the segment, like you've seen Cyrus Marks this week and Reika Manu, don't forget to apply them. We'll be in contact with you. Thank you guys again for watching, and we shall see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much.